What's going on, y'all? Packer Plug. I'm back, man. It's been a minute. I haven't made a video in a minute. But we back. We back. It's off season, and the biggest question we have this off season facing us so far is how is this Packers team gonna be now that we have Josh Jacobs? And is it gonna work? Is Josh Jacobs gonna be better than Aaron Jones? Is letting go of Aaron Jones a mistake? Josh Jacobs, he's younger, okay? He, maybe a year ago, before this injured season, was considered the best running back in the league. Multiple seasons of over 1,000 yards. But you also look at Aaron Jones, and you got to wonder, Aaron Jones is also a guy who was a top running back in the league, multiple great seasons. A very agile, small guy, a little older, but still, what he means to this team is super important. So your question would be, why move him out, right? Because Aaron Jones not only is a great player, Aaron Jones is a leader on this team. He's a leader in this locker room. Your team is very young. You don't have many veterans. Actually, you don't have any veterans now, right? Besides maybe, who's your veteran now? Jair. Your team is young, and now you downgrade your veteran running back to, not downgrade, I don't want to say that, but you go to a 26-year-old now who maybe in terms of stats might be better, but you're losing that leadership. You're losing that leadership. And when you go back and you see the footage of him picking up the receivers' heads when he's looking down mid-game, being a leader, leading this team, you go back and you see that Jordan Love interview on Micah Parsons' podcast where he's talking about how Aaron Jones would literally, in the playoff game against the Cowboys, randomly adjust on his own to go pick up Micah Parsons on the block. That's intangibles that Aaron Jones has that you're not going to get from maybe a younger running back. And who knows? Maybe you will. Maybe Josh Jacobs is going to be just as great an addition to the locker room and being a leader. But he's 26. He's only a year older than Jordan Love, okay? And it's going to be his first year on the team. He's not going to come in and make a difference to your locker room. Now, all that being said, let's get that negative talk out the way and let's talk about the great stuff about Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is younger. And if you're the Green Bay Packers organization, maybe you're thinking, well, Aaron Jones, he's coming off a season where he was injured, okay? And now he's turning 30. He's turning 30 years old. And for a lot of these running backs, when they get back up there in age, they hit that wall. So you may be wondering, maybe he's hitting that wall. Maybe it's time to let him go. It would have been awesome if we could see Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs as a dual threat. But it didn't happen. Contract disputes. They signed Josh Jacobs, $48 million. They let Aaron Jones go. So now we got Aaron Jones. And now the question is, did you make the right decision, Green Bay? Did you make the right decision, Brian Gutekunst? Did you? But we're going to see. I hope they did. I hope they made the right decision. I hope this works out. I hope it pays off. But it's got to make you wonder how it's going to affect locker room and leadership, because now this team is only younger. They're only younger. They're already the youngest. You don't have many veterans in that locker room. It's going to be interesting to see how Josh Jacobs does. I think an argument you can make is, well, Josh Jacobs was injured last season as well, and he didn't do very good with the Raiders when he played. So what do you have to say about that? And what I'd say about that is he was playing for the Raiders. The Raiders did not have as good of a O-line as the Green Bay Packers. The Raiders did not have a great offensive coach like the Green Bay Packers do with Matt LaFleur. It'll be interesting to see how Matt LaFleur chooses to use Josh Jacobs in this offense. And it's going to be a great dual threat because the Raiders didn't have a Jordan Love, who was on fire last season. Okay? We don't know how Jordan Love's going to do this season. Maybe he reverts. Maybe he continues that success. But now, looking at what you have from last season, the dual threat of running the ball and throwing the ball for the Green Bay Packers is only increasing. Okay, because you have all these young wide receivers who were phenomenal last season. Okay, and they're only going to get better because now they're older. Another year older means another year better. Christian Watson's coming back. Maybe he could stay healthy. Hope he could stay healthy. And if you could have all those receivers and you could have Jordan Love playing at a high level and have that dual threat of Josh Jacobs being able to run the ball and pound the ball, which is something Aaron Jones couldn't do. You now have a third down back who maybe is a little bit more reliable in Josh Jacobs than, let's say, Aaron Jones was. And it's only going to help because if you go back to that 49ers playoff game, there was many third down, 31s, 4th and 1s that the Green Bay Packers just weren't able to convert in the run game. And maybe that game turns out different if you have a Josh Jacobs who you can use on third and short to pound that ball and get those first downs. And it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how Jordan Love adjusts because if you go back and look at the stats, a lot of the games where Jordan Love did well is the games when the run game got going. And a big part of that was Aaron Jones. A big part of the season being saved at the end of the season for the Green Bay Packers was Aaron Jones coming back and having 3 games where he ran the ball for over 100 yards. So now you have to ask yourself the question, if you take out Aaron Jones, okay, you bring in Josh Jacobs, who doesn't have as much production, does Jordan Love decline? Can Jordan Love elevate his team in the passing game without as strong a run game if, in case Josh Jacobs isn't able to move the ball as well as Aaron Jones? That's a serious concern. That being said, I think Jordan Love is legit. I do. I think Jordan Love is legit. But again, you haven't seen what he can do when he doesn't have that run game. You could say Aaron Jones was injured for most of the season, so we did get to see. But those games when Aaron Jones wasn't around, Jordan Love wasn't having the craziest games. His best games were the games when Aaron Jones was running for over 100 yards. So now we're going to see. Now we're going to see what this whole new offense looks like. I think it's going to work out. I think Josh Jacobs is going to be a great addition because you're able to have a running back who's more well-rounded, who's able to go out in the passing game for short screens. Of course, you're not going to have him going down the field. He's obviously maybe not as agile as Aaron Jones, but he's definitely a better overall back. He's younger. You can only think he's going to be healthier and be a complement to this very young, rising offense with Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur and these young receivers who are going to be now second year receivers, third year receivers. And it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun to see. Comment down below how you think Josh Jacobs is going to fit in this offense. And did the Green Bay Packers make the right choice? Or should they have stayed with Aaron Jones? Packer plug. I'm out.